Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of November 18th through November 22nd. We're in part 2 of our weekly trading game plan. We'll be selecting our top swing trading stocks to watch, stocks in our bullpen, stocks in our shopping list. We'll also discuss how we can use dividend payers and several option strategies to generate income while we wait for our swing trading stocks to set up. So let's get started. Here's our Google document with our notes for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for November 18th through November 22nd. We keep our notes for our weekly trading game plans in publicly accessible Google documents. You can find a direct link to this Google document in the description box below. Our notes documents contain links to bonus videos, to the tools and resources we use to trade our top swing trading stocks to watch, etc. If you have not already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this trading week titled FOMO Returns to the Market, we'd highly recommend you also view part 1, as that contains our market analysis, trading strategies, trading ideas for this trading week. We keep all of our weekly trading game plan notes, Google documents in a publicly accessible Google Drive folder, so you can refer back to the notes for part 1, as well as previous weekly trading game plans, and you can also find a direct link to that publicly accessible Google Drive folder also in the description box below. Welcome RT, Ricky Khan. Thank you for joining us in the chat today. Hope you all are doing well. So firstly, we'll go over some trade updates for this week. So our only major trade update for this week is that we got assigned early on the cash secured puts that we had sold against ENPH. We had sold those puts for November 15th expiration date at 75 strike. Got assigned early. We sold those at 590. Got assigned early on the 14th. So that gives us a net cost basis of those shares from those assigned cash secured puts of 69.10. So now we're going to employ the wheel strategy. And as you'll see, we're looking to sell covered calls against this position in end phase. Again, employing the wheel strategy, we'll try to generate a profit and or lower the cost basis on those shares by selling covered calls against that position. So just a quick reminder, you can get alerts, real-time alerts of when we enter, exit a trade. And although I don't recommend anyone blindly follow us into or out of a trade, you can get real-time notification of our entries and exit points by joining our Patreon. We also have several additional channels in our Discord available to our Patreon members with additional alerts that I'll quickly show you. So firstly, we have a Thinkorswim TOS alerts channel in our Discord. I have price alerts set up in Thinkorswim. When those get triggered, they get automatically posted to the Thinkorswim alerts channel in our Discord, so we can see when land hit a 52-week low, when Pfizer hit a 52-week low, then those alerts get posted to the Thinkorswim alerts channel. If I happen to follow up one of those Thinkorswim alerts with an actual trade, then I'll reply to it in the Thinkorswim channel. If it's a trade not directly related to a Thinkorswim alert channel, like when we got assigned the cash secured puts on end phase, then I post that in the trade alerts channel in our Discord. We also have a real-time trade alerts channel generated alerts from our automated systems when stocks are moving up, breaking out near a price target. And again, you can get access to this alerts channel by joining our Patreon. You can hear how you can use this real-time alerts channel to get alerted when stocks are moving up, breaking out, etc. Via the link to the video in our notes. Again, another great way to see sector rotations in the market, changes in sentiment, reversals, etc. So we can see when utilities were breaking out, SOX S is breaking out, so semiconductors going down, etc. So another great resource for short-term traders, scalpers, day traders, etc. See Lab D breaking out. So again, we saw that rotation down in biotechs. So again, great way to see sector rotations, reversals, etc., trends in the market in this real-time alerts channel. So I hope that all helps. Well, welcome Katon, the Ricky Khan, Fairchild. Thank you all for joining us today. Hope you all are doing well. Also wanted to very quickly discuss a question that I got from JB in our Discord or RT in the YouTube chat. He asked how we can best use the trade alerts to know one should enter a trade. So I wanted to spend a few minutes to discuss that question. So to start with, again, none of our content should be considered financial advice. Similarly with our trade alerts. We have not a recommendation for you to buy or sell anything. It's just informational purposes only, but if it would help you make money trading, help you succeed in your trading career, to see when we enter or exit a trade, again, you can get all of that information by joining our Patreon. So how can you best use these trade alerts? Again, I try to, as quickly as possible, send notifications to our Patreon members. Also post those in the appropriate channel in our Discord when I enter or exit a trade. Those of you who have been around our community and seen our trade alerts for a while, you know I have a tendency to be a little bit early. So again, one of the best ways to use these trade alerts is a signal to take a look at that trade, see if that's something that you want to enter. Again, I have a tendency to be early. Also, your style of trading, your risk reward profile will play into it. Again, you know, I have a tendency to be very patient. I can wait for these trades to swing back up, and it may take, you know, days, weeks, months, etc. And again, I'm very patient. Also, you know, I'm willing to see red in my P&L while that swing works out. And if that makes you uncomfortable, then that might not be a good trade for you. Again, I have a tendency to be early. I've thought, you know, a lot of times, is it better to be early or late? But I don't like chasing, so I have, again, tendency to be a little early. I can wait for it to swing back up. This may be an opportunity for you to wait for it to actually head back up, wait for a breakout, etc., depending on your style of trading. So again, my humble opinion, best way to use our trade alerts is to take a look at that trade, take a look at that stock, see if that's something that fits your style, use your style to then enter that trade if that's something that you're interested in. Similarly, on the sell side, I tend to use stops to protect my profits. Again, if I have a tendency possibly to be a little aggressive with my stops when I have a trade in profit. And so again, I'll notify you when I stop out. You can take a look at that, see if you want to take profits at that level, or again, you may be willing to give it some more time. It's good to let your winners run. But again, my humble opinion, it's good to protect your profits. So again, when we notify you of an exit on our trade, be a good idea to take a look at it, see if it's a good time for you to take profits, protect your profits, or if you, again, want to give it some more time to possibly turn back up and get a greater profit. So again, it's all about your risk tolerance, the risk reward target that you're looking for in your style of trading. So again, RT, I hope that helps. If you have further questions about how to best use our trade alerts, please let me know. Welcome to your old bits. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. So I'm glad that helped RT again. If I can clarify any further about our trade alerts or my style of trading, please let me know. I do hope they help you make money trading, help you succeed in your trading career. Next, we'll quickly go over the updates to our top swing trading stocks to watch list. And we'll look at them in our watch list Google Sheet and also in Webull. So I don't have any changes per se. Last week we added both SARK, which is the short on ARK-K. So the trigger for entering that SARK along in SARK would be top or resistance level in ARK-K. The new 52-week high, I think, is at 54.52. So when it peaks out, rolls over, which it actually did earlier this week, then that would be the entry point in ARK-K. So congratulations to any of our BeachBum traders who caught that rollover in ARK-K. Are in profit or making a profitable trade in SARK. Similarly, SRTY, which is the leverage short on the IWM. We talked about that, or the leverage short on small caps, TMA. So again, similarly this week, IWM rolled over. So congratulations again if you happen to catch that top in IWM. Again, 3-year high of IWM is about 244.46. So again, congratulations if you caught that rollover in the IWM and with that short in SRTY. We'll see if we get a bounce in any of these in ARK-K or IWM, and if so, maybe I'll get a shot at taking those. I notice IWM really turned over pretty quickly, tends to move pretty quickly. So welcome, Alan Krebs. Thank you for joining us. So next we'll look at our watch list Google Sheet. And you can see our watch lists, our top swing trading stocks to watch list, also our bullpen stocks, our shopping list stocks, etc. And our watch list Google Sheet. And you can get 24/7 access to our watch list Google Sheet by joining our Patreon. Our watch list Google Sheet gets automatically generated at the end of each day. If I do make any changes after the watch list Google Sheet is generated, then I post those on the Stocks Watch List channel in our Discord. Again, our Patreon members also have access to that. So you can see when I added SARK and SRTY to our watch list, I posted that in the Stocks Watch List channel in our Discord. And we have a whole series of videos on how you can use our watch list Google Sheet to watch our top swing trading stocks to watch. Also, our recent enhancements, how you can use the PE and ATR. And as we were just discussing a minute ago, how you can use the buy at, sell at price targets to help you make buying and selling decisions on our stocks in our watch list or bullpen or even our shopping list. So if I quickly take a look at our watch list Google Sheet, see here's SARK and SRTY. Again, we've got our support and resistance, buy at, sell at targets. Got the 52-week. We've got the risk reward profile. They pay a dividend. We've got the dividend information, optionality. These are ETFs, so they don't have PEs, but you can see their ATR. So again, a good way to help you set stops, set profit targets, etc. So if I quickly look at those in Webull. So again, we use ARK-K as the trigger for the SARK entry. And you can see after we had posted that to our watch list, to our Patreon members, you can see ARK-K did roll over this week, so it headed back down. We'll see if it does try to make a bounce. If so, then at a top or resistance level, possibly at this R1 level, might be a good entry point into SARK. See that bounce in SARK. Similarly with the IWM and SRTY or TZA. See IWM rolled over on the 11th as well. So again, congratulations if you caught that rollover in IWM with SRTY or TZA. Okay, let me also grab a drink. We'll go over our bullpen stocks. Got a number of additions to our bullpen for this week. Just a quick reminder, if you're not already using Webull, you can still get up to 40 free fractional shares of stock by opening an account, funding it with $2,000 or more. Less than $2,000, you get 20 free fractional shares of stock, each worth $3,000 to $3,000. They also periodically offer additional promotions like bonus cash on your contributions to your account. So if you join with our affiliate link in the description box below, you can get your free fractional shares of stock, any additional promotions they may be offering right now, and also help support our BeachBum trading community, which we greatly appreciate. So here's our updates to our bullpen stocks for this week. If you're new to our community, the concept of the bullpen stocks are ones that don't necessarily have the setup for our top swing trading stocks to watch right now, but I've identified that they may in the near future, so we put them in the bullpen. If their setup improves, then we put them in the game, move them up to our top swing trading stocks to watch. If they run away or break down, then we just take them out of the bullpen and we can revisit them later. So we've got some couple old favorites adding back to the bullpen right now. AEHR Test Systems. This is a semiconductor testing, so it's semiconductor equipment and materials. We saw how the semiconductor industry is kind of cycled down. So we're looking for a couple opportunities in some of the stock that we profitably swung trade in the past. AHR is one, so you can hear our thesis previous looks at AHR via the series of videos, via the links in the notes. I jump forward, another semiconductor that we're adding back to the bullpen is HIMX. We made a nice profit swing trading HIMX in the past, and you can hear our previous discussions on HIMX via the links to the videos in the notes. Again, another opportunity if we get a bounce back in semiconductors, possibly triggered by the NVIDIA earnings, either AEHR or HIMX might be an opportunity there. I left BITI. BITI is the short on Bitcoin. There's a good example of when I was too early on a long. So we're already long BITI. Again, I got in too early. It surged up. We'll see if Bitcoin goes to try to test the 100,000 as many people are predicting. Wouldn't surprise me if Bitcoin tests 100,000 and then rejects. So again, we'll hold that. We can hold it. It is a dividend payer. So again, a good example when I was probably too early. You might be able to catch that 100,000 rejection in Bitcoin with BITI. So I've left it in the bullpen for that purpose. You can hear our previous discussion on a couple of the ETFs that you can use to short Bitcoin via the bonus link to the video in our notes. Another one we've swung trade numerous times profitably in the past that I'm adding back to the bullpen is land. Land is a REIT based on farmland, pays a small dividend. We generally trade it more for price appreciation than the small dividend. It is in our Dividend Payers Google Sheet. They believe reported a loss in their last earnings. They've got some underperforming property that they can and probably should sell off. That might be a potential catalyst, positive catalyst for land. So right now it's kind of in free fall, so we'll wait for it to bottom out And then that catalyst might be a good opportunity again to get back into land. Taking NEP Nextera out of our bullpen as it's broken down. We do have a cash secured put that we've sold against NEP. So we're using that to trade NEP, but the share price again is pretty much broken down, and I don't see necessarily a bottom there anytime soon. You can hear our discussions on NEP via the bonus links in the video. Had SLP Simulations Plus in our bullpen for a little while, just waiting for it to find a good bottom, good support level. Another one also we're looking to sell cash secured puts on as another option. You can hear our previous discussions on SLP via the link to the bonus video in our notes. The other one I'm adding to the bullpen is TMF. TMF is a leveraged long on TLT. So as we saw yesterday, bond prices have surged up, bond yields have surged up, bond prices have dropped, getting somewhat close to their 52-week low or previous low, previous support level. And if it does approach that support level, we have an existing long-term position in TMF. Again, probably got in way too early, and I would be adding to our TMF position, but that might be a good opportunity for you. You can long just TLT unleveraged or long TLT using the leverage 3x with TMF. Also got a video comparing various ETFs to use to trade treasuries, so you can review the various options for trading treasuries via the link to that video. So again, you can now also see all of our bullpen stocks in the bullpen sheet and our watch list Google sheet. So again, we've got support and resistance price targets, risk reward profiles, links to their FinViz URL profile, earnings data, ex-dividend data, optionality, PE, ATR, etc. So again, we can now watch our bullpen stocks in near real time as well and take trades directly off that quite easily. So if we quickly look at those charts in Webull, so again, nice feature of Webull, you can have all kinds of different watch lists. So here's AEHR, see it's coming down, getting relatively close to its previous low. Again, when that bottoms and bounces, nice swing trade, nice potential up into the 20s. It's a pretty popular one based on the AI theme. So again, might get a pop off NVIDIA. Talked about Bitcoin, BITI. It's bottoming out. Bitcoin, I think, is around 90 right now. It's tested in the 93s or so. Again, wouldn't be surprised if it tested 100. HIMX, again, ran up. We made a nice profit in the past on that run up. It's rolled over, coming back down. So again, if the semiconductor sector rebounds, might be another nice opportunity in HIMX. They did have pretty good earnings. They're profitable. Taiwanese semiconductor. Land, again, we see that precipitous drop on their earnings. So they had poor earnings, lost some money. So pretty much a falling knife right now. So we just want to see where that finds a bottom, get some support. And then again, we talked about some potential catalysts if they sell some of their underperforming property. Been watching SLP for quite a while. See it bounced up, got rejected off that resistance level, coming back down. It's around 30. It's been kind of stuck around 30. We see it dip and retest that previous bottom. Again, technology sector pressure, downward pressure in the technology sector, I think, is pushing SLP down. And we talked about TLT. And you can see it's near this support level, near this previous bottom, around 90. So around 90 is a support level. And then we've got 86, 85, 86, 52-week low. So this support level is, actually before the Fed cut rates. And so we've got bond yields actually higher, prices lower than before the Fed cut and started cutting interest rates. So again, we'd use TLT, support TLT as an entry point into TMF. Okay, we've got a lot to cover today, so I'm gonna skip forward, maybe come back to the honorable mention stocks. You'll see I'm also got that in our puts ROIC Google Sheet, so if we have time, might come back to some of these and do further due diligence, but you can take a look at those if you're interested via our notes. So let me grab a quick drink and we'll talk about our shopping list stocks. Okay, again, we always recommend that you have your shopping list ready of stocks that you want to buy on an irrational reaction to earnings, a pullback in the markets, etc. We just always recommend, again, not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. All of our content's for education and hopefully some entertainment purposes only. But again, we've still got higher for longer interest rates. So we recommend you stay away from zombie stocks, zombie companies, zombie ETFs. Also, something Easy Mike was pointing out, Katon was pointing out in the chat yesterday, is we're kind of in the season for early tax loss harvesting, tax loss selling. So companies that are significantly down for the year, we might see some early tax loss harvesting, tax loss selling. So again, be careful of stocks that are, at or below their 52-week lows, headed down. They might continue to go down, particularly if they're money losers. If you're not familiar with what tax loss harvesting is or tax loss selling and how that works, you can access the link to our previous video in the notes. But again, we're kind of early in the season, but we might start to see and may already be starting to see some tax loss harvesting of some significant losers. So some updates to our shopping list is I added wheat. Wheat is it's not leveraged, it's just a long ETF on wheat futures. And as we saw in the futures yesterday, they're coming down, getting near the bottom, the 52-week low. So to watch wheat is the /CW on wheat futures and Thinkorswim. So the 52-week low is about 501.25. So I would watch that to determine the entry point into wheat, not necessarily the 52-week low on wheat. Also, as I discussed yesterday, I discovered that USOI, the monthly dividend payer on oil, is based on this USO, United States Oil Fund ETF, which then in turn is based on WTI futures. So I'm using USO now as the determinant trigger for an entry point in USOI. So USOI's got a support level around 69.14, 52-week low about 63.84. So this corresponds, I think, to a WTI price of about 67 and 65 or so. Yeah, so the 52-week low on crude, which is /CO and Thinkorswim, is 65. So again, as I mentioned yesterday, I thought I might get in on Friday. We'll see if we get a dip in USO and crude on early this week. If so, I want to grab a chunk of USOI again. I believe it goes ex-dividend on the 20th, and we can see that in our Dividend Payers Google Sheet and also in our shopping list. So you can see our shopping list in the shop list tab of our watch list Google Sheet. We also, and if I want to look at USOI, see its ex-dividend, yeah, is 11.20. So they're going to pay $1.64. So I might pay up a little bit on USOI. You can see the previous bottom, 52-week low is 62.15. That's 63.79. So again, I might pay up a little bit and collect that November dividend for USOI on oil, and then wait for oil to swing back up and collect that nice monthly dividend on USOI in the meantime. And we talked about wheat's getting close to its 52-week low. But again, we want to use the wheat futures to determine that entry. Also have land in our shopping list for a long time. So you can see it's broken down significantly. So below 12 at this point, only pays a 5-cent dividend. So again, much more for price appreciation than for the dividend. Hip on Pfizer or any of the vaccine stocks right now is, very negative sentiment in that area. We've also got several other REITs, STAG, LTC, got some yield maxes, APOI, TSLY, Dividend Payers, JEPI, JEPQ. So also to watch rare earths with MP, steel with MSB, uranium with URNM. Might swap that one out for URA. I don't know if Okay, nextly we'll take a look at our dividend payers Google Sheet. I'll grab a drink. We'll talk about how we can use dividend payers to also generate income while we wait for our swing trading stocks to set up. Okay, we also use dividend payers to generate income while we wait for our swing trading stocks to set up, and we use our dividend payers Google Sheet to construct our schedule of dividend payers, be it monthly, quarterly, etc., with whatever yield profile, risk reward profile that we would like. And again, you can do likewise, use our dividend payers Google Sheet, create your own schedule of dividend payers by joining our Patreon. So one thing, Easy Mike, Katon had asked us to compare the yields of a couple monthly dividend payers on gold, GDXY, and we'll compare it to GLDY. You can hear our previous reviews of some of these gold dividend payers via the links to the bonus videos in our notes. If I quickly go to, we have all the yield maxes in the ad sheet of our dividend payers at the top. So again, we've got all the yield maxes. So here's GDXY, again, a yield max monthly dividend payer on gold. You can see it's had a dividend of about 60 cents. So it's got a pretty low net yield. Risk reward profile, about 1.33. So performance negative 9%. I'll look at the FinBiz quickly, maybe update the actually lower 485 was the last monthly dividend on November 7. So if we update that slightly. So again, a net yield of only 1.5, adjusted yield 32.52. So if we compare that to GLDI, GLDI is the Credit Suisse, what used to be the Credit Suisse dividend payer on gold that we've traded profitably over the years. We see it's paying $1.40, going ex-dividend on the 20th. So it's got a net yield of 19%, nominal yield of about 11%, adjusted yield 23. So not as much potential price appreciation, so 1.17. So its performance has been positive for the year. See, it paid $2.30 the last month, so much higher dividend. Looks like the performance is significantly better than GDXY. So it's negative performance for the quarters, 20% nominal yield. So again, in my humble opinion, I prefer GLDI to GDXY in terms of monthly dividend payers on gold. Again, we've reviewed several others, iGold, and we have some other dividend payers on gold in our dividend payer Google sheet, but I hope that all helps. Please let me know if that answers your question. Easy Mike Katon of, again, I would prefer GLDI as a monthly dividend payer on gold. Although we saw gold's got rejected. It's been trending down. So you can see GLDI has been trending down. May be an opportunity if you think gold's going to swing back up to get back into GLDI. Similarly, the Credit Suisse monthly dividend payer on silver is SLBO, and we also have that one in our dividend payers Google sheet as well. So if you're looking for a monthly dividend payer on silver, again, SLBO, probably have the same ex-dividend dates, also USOI. They're probably all going to have the same ex-dividend date of 11/20. Yep. So SLBO is going to pay $1.24 on the 20th. So I hope that helps. Don't have any other changes to the dividend payers right now. So if anyone in the chat has any other dividend payers you want to look at. Douglas PC is asking about U.S. miners. I still have a few small gold miners. We've been taking profits on those as they pop up. They have underperformed quite a bit. So I think I have USAS, PZG. We sold several again. There is a JNUG is a ETF on small gold miners. I think there's a GLDJ. You can check our ETFs Google sheet for ETFs on miners. That would be my preference going forward, as again, most of the small miners have underperformed. GDX has been trending down. Hope that helps. Again, we look at all the yield maxes. I've been looking at AMDY. It's pretty close, but AMD still got some room to hit a support. So I always want to use the support level of the underlying to determine an entry. But again, you want to hold these yield maxes for some time on various underlyings. We like APOY, TSOY. We've recently been looking at ULTY, done several videos on a potential trading strategy on ULTY. And just FYI, if you can see the yield max distribution schedule, give the link in the references section. And something I learned. So you see, initially ULTY was with these other individual yield max ETFs. But if you do a find on this page for ULTY, we can see now it's in group C. So ULTY, they've grouped all their yield maxes. So ULTY is now in group C. So it just went ex-dividend on the 13th. So when we see ULTY near its bottom, it's most likely due to the ex-dividend. We've looked at the tendency of ULTY to bottom kind of in the middle of its dividend cycle. So we might see if we get another opportunity to re-enter ULTY again, and we can watch that here in our Dividend Payers Google Sheet. Okay, again, if anybody else in the chat has any other dividend pairs, I've been watching this STM, keep looking at the charts, waiting for it to find some support. I'll leave this open and we can take a look at any other dividend pairs. Again, land, you can see the adjusted yield, the risk reward profiles here as well. Ex-dividend date 11/20. Again, BITI pays a small dividend, so still under 5%. But again, we can hold it and collect that dividend, waiting for Bitcoin to eventually roll over. Again, if anyone in the chat has a dividend pair you want to look at, I'll leave that open. We can come back. Also, if you'd like us to do the research on a potential dividend pair to add, please put that in the comments to our video or in our Discord. Again, we have a whole series of videos on how to find the best dividend paying stocks and how you can use our Dividend Payers Google Sheet to generate your own schedule of dividend payer income via the link to that series in our notes. Next, we'll talk about option strategies and how we can use several option strategies to also generate income while we wait for our swing trade stocks to set up. Firstly, as we mentioned earlier, we use a covered call strategy to sell covered calls against our positions, generate our own dividends against our existing positions, and we use our covered calls Google Sheet to do what if analysis on various covered call strategies. And you can hear how you can get access to this covered calls Google Sheet to use it to do your own what if analysis on covered call strategies by joining our Patreon. We'll take a look at a good example I did recently with ENPH. Again, we got assigned the put on ENPH, so as part of the wheel strategy that you can hear discussed further in the notes. If we get assigned, then we'll turn around and sell covered calls against that position. So I did this what if analysis in our covered calls Google Sheet, and I'll show you that on ENPH to select the preferable covered call to try to sell on our ENPH position. And as part of that, I found it useful to add some enhancements to our covered calls Google Sheet. So I added a delta column in column F and also a last updated in column T. So when I go and I do this what if analysis, I can check the deltas, find a preferable delta, and also I can see when I last updated that. So if we take a look at our covered calls Google Sheet, you can see I did 3 rows on end phase. So here's our position with our current cost basis of 69.10. So that was our 75 strike price minus the 590 premium we got paid on the cash secured put. And I looked in the desktop version of Webull, compared a variety of expiration dates, strike prices, looked at their delta, looked at the recent high sell price for those different covered calls. And then we can compare the premiums, again, the delta. So Looked at the 70 strike and the 90 strike for December. See the delta on the 90 is very low. Premium's not quite as much. Then I looked at the 75 for January. Its delta is below 30, so still likely I won't get called away. We've got the highest sell price premium. So if I can look at my net profit, so see the adjusted cost basis. So it's down at 51. So my net profit per contract would be 2,400 for those. Again, lower cost basis. So I put a sell out on end phase for January 25 at the 75 strike price. Again, higher premium. Still not probable that I'm going to get called away, but if I do, again, on that 2,400 per contract on that covered call. If I don't get called away in January and that expires, I can turn around, do this again, generate a nice, my own nice dividend on that position and end phase. So again, you can see how you can use this covered calls Google Sheet to do some what if analysis, select the one with the probability, the delta, the premium, the total profit that you would like on your covered calls using our covered calls Google Sheet. So if you have any questions or you would like further enhancements to our covered call Google Sheet, please let us know. I'd love to hear that. And you can make a copy, join our Patreon, make a copy of it, use it to do a similar what if analysis for your covered calls as well. Welcome, Sydney Osborne. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Okay, in addition to covered calls, again, we sell cash secured puts. In our case, for cash secured puts on stocks going down, buying back when they're going back up. And we use our puts ROIC Google Sheet to identify opportunities to sell puts and then buy them back. Again, you can also get access to and use our puts ROIC Google Sheet for your options trading by joining our Patreon. Couple quick updates to our puts ROIC Google Sheet. Again, I rolled all the November expirations to December prior to the expiration OPEX on Friday. Also, we've now got more earnings dates being collected and filled in our Google Sheet. So we previously had a discussion and did a video on how you can use the earnings dates to find put options to trade before or after earnings. You can access that via the bonus link to the video in our notes. I added a couple to our puts research sheet, and eventually I'd like to come back. Probably won't have time today, but I'd like to come back and do some quick due diligence on both of these at some time. First one is Bed Bath & Beyond. Oh, that's Body Works. So we can access that. Go to the research sheet, get their profile. Again, you can access the profile and the comments and the link in the comments. So Bath and Body Works. So again, a retailer. So I put that up, popped up in the ROIC tool, ROI tool. So again, every day I go in this option seller ROI tool, see if anybody might be a good addition. Identified this as a possible interesting put. So I put the 25 strike for December in our Google Sheet, also Medfast. So again, one of these days we'll talk about, we've got some actual practical experience with Medfast. I didn't even know it was a publicly traded company. Saw that pop up. So I added that at the 15 strike price for December. See if that would be an interesting put. Also, I canceled. We had sells out on Celsius at the 30 for November, and Celsius has been declining significantly. So before I got assigned those puts, I canceled that sell, and then I moved the strike on Celsius down from 30 to 22.50. Also moved the strike price down on Dollar General from 75 to 65. Again, as these break down below their strike price, we could see they'll show up in red. If they're below the strike, that's a signal to me to go ahead and look at them and see if we want to move down the strikes. So we see NAP is below its strike, but I've got a put I've already sold, looking to buy it back. It's actually still above the break even, so and that may expire, and then we'll just collect that premium or bounce back, and I'll try to buy it back. Similarly, got some sells out on SLP, Shutterstock. You can see our current sell price in the sell price column in our puts ROIC Google Sheet. We talked about end phase, so since we've already got assigned that, I dropped the strike price in our Google Sheet down to 55 and pushed it out to December. So now if you're interested in selling puts on end phase, you can see what that ROIC would be on end phase at 55. So currently you can get 4% if you want to scalp puts on end phase. Also lowered the strike on Moderna. Again, it's been in decline. Vaccine stocks out of favor, so I lowered that strike price down to 35. So I see Dollar Tree's got a positive ROIC, not real hip. Both of these have been in decline. I believe Dollar Tree loses money, so I'm not real hip on that one. Moderna, again, vaccine stocks out of favor. Again, we've already sold one against NEP, talked about that. Not a whole lot else right now with a real high ROIC. Again, we got a decline in the VIX. Still got sells out on Intel. It hasn't hit. So, and Sirius XM's coming down again. So we're watching that for 23. I guess Warren Buffett sold out of some of his positions in Sirius, so we might reconsider that in the future. Made a nice profit in the past swing trading Sirius XM. So if you'd like us to do research on any puts, please let us know the strike price, the expiration dates, the ticker symbols, etc. We can plug them into our puts ROIC Google Sheet. Automated systems will collect the options data, update the puts ROIC Google Sheet. And now you can see we've got many more of the earnings dates are being filled in. So I've updated some of our automated systems to collect more of the earnings dates, even if they're not in our database. So again, if you want to trade puts before or after earnings, you can see in the previous video how you can filter by the earnings date, select puts for those that are either have past or upcoming earnings. So again, hope that all helps. Okay, let me grab a drink, and in the last couple minutes, we'll try to answer some more of our BeachBum traders questions that we've had outstanding. Okay, firstly, JB or RT started a discussion in our Discord on Editus, EDIT. He's got quite a bit of useful information on that. You can read this in more detail via the link in our Discord. So I put that in the notes. You can find it in our Discord. So he's got, it says a consensus price target of 1143. And he's got a lot of good information about Editus. Issued, okay, so I won't go into a lot of detail. Again, you can read this in all these details. He was helpful. I had a link to those articles. Thank you, RT, for providing all this information. So yeah, let's look at it in ChartMill. So I'm glad that you looked at it in ChartMill. It's exactly what I would do as well. So here's the fundamental analysis on Editus and ChartMill. So 3 out of 10. So pretty poor profitability. Poor health. Altman Z is negative, so not financially healthy, has risk of bankruptcy. So again, overall, fundamentally, currently not very good. You probably lose money. Technically zero. Poor setup. So if we also look at them in FinViz real quickly. So yeah, they lose a ton of money. They're losing their market cap in income. So they reported earnings. They've missed on EPS, very negative, have virtually no revenue. That's not that bad, but again, they're at risk of bankruptcy. Not a lot of difference between outstanding and float. Short interest isn't too, short float's pretty high, so maybe you'll get a short squeeze at some point if you look at their potential catalysts. Maybe if you get in, right before their catalyst, might be able to get a little bit of a pop on a positive news, short squeeze, genome editing. So it's one of the genome editing companies. They've been pretty much out of favor for quite a while. Been declining for quite a while. Had a pop, back in 2021 when the genome editing CRISPR types were in more favor. And then RTJB, and then I did an analysis of their quarter's cash flow positive. So under our shopping list, you can find that we recommend for any money losing or biotech stocks, which are almost all money losing. We use our biotech due diligence Google sheet, do an analysis of their quarter's cash flow positive, see how many quarters before they run out of money and they either have to do an offering or loan or something, or possibly go out of business. So he had a question about how to use this quarter's cash flow positive Google sheet, and you can we've done previous videos on how to use this Google sheet. You can access them via the series in our videos. He also asked the question about whether to use TTM, free cash flow, and I responded that you would want to use the quarterly cash flow. So you want to use quarterly free cash flow. So I've added a row with my calculation of their quarter's cash flow positive using their quarterly free cash flow, their current cash on hand for the most recent quarter. We see that it says they have less than 5 quarters, so kind of neutral, not showing bad. So it's not showing that they're going to need to do an offering right away. But again, they're at some risk. So if they had some positive news, I believe, he's got several news potential catalysts on any good news. They might drop an offering, so definitely protect your profits. Be careful, on those pops. They'll probably have to drop an offering, raise some more cash to go forward as they're losing a ton of money. So I hope that helps. RT, JB, please let me know. Again, you can see how you can use our biotech due diligence Google Sheet, calculate the quarter's cash flow positive for any biotech or money losing company. And then also, it's good to use Chartmill, check their fundamentals, check their Altman Z score, etc., as we typically do in our due diligence. CRT's adding additional information. Again, thank you for sharing all of this in our Discord. And I'd recommend anyone interested in EDIT Editus, check out the excellent information that JB is sharing, and we'd highly recommend, if you have any further experience, add to that discussion. You can access that discussion via the link in our notes, in the suggestion box. And we can have further discussion if you have further information about the dates for their potential catalysts. That may help anyone that's interested in trading Editus. So I hope that all helps. I hope that answers the question. Okay, another one. We had a viewer, Good Vibes, commented that they were interested in Pack B. So I'll very quickly look at Pack B. Quick reminder, you can find links to the tools and resources we typically use in the link section on our homepage, beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U. So I've closed FinViz, so reopen that, look at Pack B. Pacific Biosciences. Looks like it's a multiple bottom. Looks like they missed a trial or something, big drop. Losing money. They missed a little bit. Did report some revenue, but missed. Again, losing a lot of money, losing more than their market cap. Not a lot of discrepancy. Again, almost a 19% short float so very similarly, potential for a squeeze on any positive news. Huge debt. So if we look at what they do specifically, advanced sequencing, so another genetic analysis, so another genome related company. Can lose a ton of money. So I would highly, I'm not going to do it right now. I don't have time to do it right now, but I would highly recommend you use our biotech due diligence Google Sheet. Doesn't look like I've done Pack B before. I would highly recommend you plug the data in for Pack B, see how many quarters of cash flow positive they have, what kind of risk they are for, again, bankruptcy, offerings, listings, etc. So if we look at them in Chartmill, so TA rating, very poor. Fundamentals, poor. Growth, better than average. Health, very poor. No dividends. If we look at their fundamentals, two out of 10, so very poor. Profitability is poor. Again, both of these seem to be very speculative biotechs. Again, a lot of risk right now in biotech, very negative sentiment. Have to see how the new administration handles pharmaceuticals, biotech. So again, in my personal opinion, I would stay away from all of them until we see how that all shakes out. Again, negative Altman Z, so risk of bankruptcy. So again, very similar to Editus. They might have some catalysts if they have positive news, got a high short interest, you might get a bit of a pop, short squeeze. I would definitely protect your profits and not get stuck in those because they will probably drop an offering on you. They're going to have to collect a lot more money to keep going in that area. So again, that's my very quick take on PAC B. Again, I would recommend doing further analysis, figure out what their catalysts are. Possibly you can capitalize on a pop in one of their catalysts if they have positive news. But again, very speculative, very high risk. Lastly, Douglas PC, free information, asked about IonQ. I'll just very quickly look at IonQ. Computer hardware, so it looks like it had an exuberant spike on earnings, so they actually missed on EPS, beat on revenue. They must have said something very positive, had a huge spike. This looks like that's the highest, it's almost the highest it's ever been. So if you caught that pop, congratulations. I would again definitely protect your profits. Again, they're losing a ton of money. There's some discrepancy there, so watch out for potential shelf offering over 20% short. So again, that probably part of that big exuberant pop was a potential short squeeze. Some debt, not too bad. Got decent, quite a bit of volume. Let's see what they do. Quantum computing. Okay, so this is the quantum computing hype theme. Again, just a very quick comment. In my humble opinion, I know IBM actually has some quantum computing you can use in their cloud. A lot of other companies, though, in terms of being profitable, it's quite a ways out. So if I very quickly look at them in Chartmill as well. So very, very positive technical rating, positive health. So they must have a lot of cash on hand. Again, big money loser though, so I would recommend, again, you can do an analysis of quarters cash flow positive using our biotech due diligence Google sheet. I would highly recommend that. Look at their fundamentals. 3 out of 10, so very positive health, good on growth, bad on valuation and profitability. So positive health, high Altman Z, so again, they must have a lot of cash on hand. Cash per share 152, so not a ton. But again, I would expect the quarter's cash flow positive probably looks pretty good. Technicals, very positive, again, big run up. But poor setup at this point. Price have extended. Better to wait for consolidation, so wait for a pullback. So again, very exuberant run. Again, on something they said. Look at the news. Increased performance, technical moat, so with some patents, so they got patent news. So a lot of positive news. Again, in my humble opinion, again, we've talked about the hype cycle in the past. We've got some videos about how to play the hype cycle. It looks like this quantum computing is, on the top side of its hype cycle. It's like IonQ is at the peak of its hype cycle. So again, be careful for it to roll over. Okay, congratulations on your profits. Protect your profits. I again wouldn't enter until you saw some serious consolidation, some serious pullback, and then that might be an opportunity. If it pulls back to that previous high around 20 or so, you've got still some upside, but you got downside down to 7.6 area. So risk reward's not very attractive right now. I'd wait for a major pullback, see if their profitability improves. But again, it looks like they've got plenty of cash, and not have to raise anytime soon. And they didn't raise on this positive news, this pop yet. So Douglas PC, free information. I hope that answers your question on IonQ. If anyone traded that, let me know your previous experience on any of these. Editus, PACB, IonQ. Again, I hope that all helps. Again, if you want us to take a look at the stock for a future live stream, please post in the comments, post in our Discord. We'd appreciate it in advance so we can take a look in advance and prepare accordingly. Again, tag us in our Discord. We're BeachBum Trading, all lowercase, no other characters, symbols, numbers, etc. Anyone else is an imposter, and please report and ignore them. Also, if you have any other questions, etc., contact us in our Discord or in the comments to our video. Thank you all for joining us today. We hope that you like this content. Please smash the like button for us. Help us try to get the YouTube algorithm to show us some love at some point. Share our content with more traders around the world. Also, we'd love to have you in our Discord. We'd love to hear your comments on what we can do to make improvements to our weekly trading game plans, our videos, tools, Google Sheets, etc., our community. What can we do to continue to add more value for all of our fellow BeachBum traders? And again, we really need your feedback to hear what you'd like to hear more of, less of, etc. So thank you all to everyone who joined us in the chat today, everyone watching after the fact. We hope to see you all back next weekend, 10 a.m. Saturday for part 1, 10 a.m. Sunday for part 2 of our weekly trading game plans. And otherwise, good luck and have a great trading week.